Meow, says the kitty. Hello, kitty. I love you, cat. I hop into my chair and the cat's like, it's cuddle time. Hi. Hello. Kit. Can I do stuff now? I'm trying to do things. There we go. And that key was a figure of speech. It looks like it could potentially be an unlocking mechanism. If you squint. If you squint. Let me really quickly... Yes, thank you. Kitty is licking my leg to let me know he loves me. That's so sweet, cat. A little weird, but very sweet. Yeah. Desynthesize that. Big break is almost complete. The demon gloves of healing. That's kind of weird, but whatever. Big break. Summoner's thigh boots. Desynthesize. All right. If you squint. Beep. Processing. It's about time. You know those parts we found? Well, I've managed to cobble them together into a decent approximation of something. I was hoping if I got the basics right, the pod could tell us what it's meant to be. This music. But it won't stop repeating processing and beeping at me. It worked when it was analyzing us, so theoretically it should be up to the task. It seems we'll have to wait for it to finish. Whatever it was doing. I'm half tempted to take my tools to it. But if I can't put it back together, we'll be back to square one, so patience it is. Sure. In the meantime, we have quite a bit of other data to analyze. So much, in fact, that I am certain we'll need a considerable amount of time, uninterrupted time, to work, if you take my meaning. I'm telling you to keep the chief off of our backs for a while. I don't care how. Say that this house is on fire, if you like. Put to the torch if you're not comfortable with lying. Or put it to the torch if you're not comfortable with lying. This music is so pretty. I love you too, cat. All right. Let's head back this ways. And we'll see if we can't do brick by stone brick. Maybe. My gut says maybe. Let's actually get Cinder Drift started. I love you too, kitty. That bump on your neck worries me, cat. Lolly mysterious machines in the ruins will kill us all, I suppose. Sorry, none of that to take in. But you managed to keep our local miscreants out of trouble. We're safely studying our discoveries as we speak. It's true that when it comes to mechanical contraptions, you'll find them clever, those two. Or more obsessive. If anyone's capable of solving the mystery of these ruins, it's them. Much as I hate to say this, we should leave them to their own devices. For now. Voice of no return guitar. Looks like Chief has a request for you. You could not possibly guess who it concerns. Lolly, what a conveniently timed entrance ho. I was just thinking I had to send someone to go check on Anog and Konog. They're still poking and prodding at their wets that you dug up in the ruins, which is all well and good until one of them sets off another explosion. Well, I'm sure you'll notice if they blow up anything important. By which point it'll be too late. Not to mention our annual carnival is fast approaching. There's plenty of what's doing before we're ready, and I need those two to start pulling their weight. Oh. While you're looking in on them, remind me when they got duties outside tinkering rusty thingamabobs, will you? Maybe listen to you if it's worth nagging. Just a moment.
Hello?
Well, while you're looking at them, remind them they've got duties outside of tinkering with rusty thingamabobs, will you? Maybe they'll listen to you if you're doing the nagging. They seem to respect you, much as they respect anyone. Must be all the violence. You'll find them in the tunnels, of course. Can't lure them out of there for love or money. And believe me, I tried. Sure, why not? You can leave it to me. Huzzah! Let's work on the Crystarium. Let's get this going first. What's up, Anog? Ah, there you are. Can you believe this? Can I believe what? I waited through days of processing, broke multiple tools, and after all of that... stupid son of a hobswabin. And not everyone's privy to your inner thoughts. Please, allow me to explain. The pod confirmed that this device grants the user access to some sort of weaponry, which presumably means it is indeed the key to which T2P spoke. Unfortunately, no sooner have we gotten it working than it stopped again. Based on our previous experiences, we assume it's run out of power and will require a supplementary energy source. So let's hurry up and find one. The sooner we get the key working, the sooner we can pulverize our enemies. Now, just a moment. We aren't even certain what sort of weaponry is involved here. Even if we get the key working again, we shouldn't activate it willy-nilly. Honestly, Konog, the ceaseless whining of yours is why we never make any progress. It's not whining, it's being ethical and prudent.
So shall the victor be the first to draw blood, or the last man standing? Why not both?
That's funny. What were we talking about? Oh, yes. Why, I'm right. I agree that we still know too little about the machine life forms and androids, but it's precisely where we need to seize this opportunity. If we claim the weaponry for ourselves, we'll know exactly what the enemy's capabilities are. Then, and only then, can we protect the village from comparable technology. Fine, I see your point. We'll be safer in the long run if we activate the weaponry sooner rather than later. Or everyone else will. I'll probably have dropped dead from trying to keep up with you. Haha, you always say that. But you're far too stubborn to die. That's why I can always count on you. You too, most loyal and lethal assistant. Come along. We have a power source to find.
All right. Back to Colossia we go. I love jogging. Jogging is the best.
It's about time. I've been considering what we might need in order to power the key. A hefty chunk of crystal from a knocker ought to do it. Though I haven't quite worked out how to divert this energy for our purposes. Konog and I'll think on it while you head into the hollows and liberate that crystal. Find us when you're back in Comra.
Sure, why not? Looks like it's a gold knocker. It's got a chunk of knocker. Not a knock of chunker. That makes no sense.
Aha! Got one, right?
There's a chunk of knocker. Which seems kind of dirty, but whatever.
Perfect. Now we can run some tests. Yes, it'll take a bit of experimentation to get the key powered up. It is science, you know. Don't worry, though. We'll have this thing in working order before you know it. While you wait, why not take some time for yourself? Have a nap, try some of the local delicacies. Tell the chef to go bugger himself.
I don't think I'll be doing that.
Hey, Nug? Nug?
What is it?
They were shocked a little too long there, I think. Ah, and here's Peter. I knew you'd roped him into your schemes again. They're good schemes. Anyway, you're the one who keeps sending him to check on us. I wouldn't have to if you do the work you were assigned. The carnival will not wait on your pet projects.
I don't even know what he's talking about, do you?
Oh, yeah. Fine. Come on, Konrad, let's get this over with.
Get what over with? I'm wondering if I should be concerned.
Frustrating as they are, you'll have to admire their enthusiasm for tinkering. If they could put even a tenth of that energy toward the carnival, we'll be ready in no time. I hope you'll be able to attend. You won't even have to have seen the like before. I assure you, not to mention, that we are eager to show our appreciation for your helping us with those machines. And there's no better way to do that than with a dwarven toast to your health or two. Or a dozen.
What way to do it?
Duty complete.
Crumbling lines, front, orchestra roll. Okay.
Lally, I knew you'd be here sooner or later, Ho. I wasn't calling you a Ho. You remember the carnival I told you about, don't you? We finished preparing, which means it's nearly time to open celebrations and the unfurling of banners. But first, we'll need an officially sanctioned bearer to present said banners to 3 of our people. And why not let you do the honors? Others are clamoring for the task, make no mistake. It's an important and highly coveted duty, you understand. But I couldn't deprive you of this opportunity to experience GOG culture hands-on. Consider it a thank you for keeping Anog and Konog from blowing themselves up. And look sharp. We haven't got all day.
Alright. Who am I talking to? We'll start with Ernest Villager and work our way over from there.
Time already, is it? Oh, my hands are so sweaty. Do take care now. I'd hate to be the one who drops the banner.
Here's the banner.
Whew, well done. Now, let's share a drink once it's safely unfurled, eh? The carnival's on its way of showing appreciation for each other, and I certainly appreciate you keeping this banner from slipping away like a greased eel. Aha! You'll be the bearer. Well, hand it over. That's what we've all been waiting for.
There's a carnival banner.
Ah, the colors of Gomra. They speak of our village, our lives, our very souls. Well, except this one. Never really cared about this one. Look, like it's halfway dropped through the journey, with beige and yellow and fell in a ditch. So the role of bearer went to the outsider after all. Nothing you can't handle. I hope. It's not that I think the chief made you a poor choice, mind, just a bit of a waste, yes. But there's no better way for you to introduce yourself to the rest of the village. And wouldn't you know it, you're not half so bad. I don't know why I put the word half in there, but so be it.
But I'm guessing what is happening before I read it.
Finished, have you? Hopefully speaking with these folks helped impress.
Oh, cool! I get to ban someone. Awesome!
All right. Finished, have you? Hopefully speaking with those folks helped impress upon you that this wasn't just some menial errand anyone could have done. No, the slightest mishap in the banner delivery process would have spelled disaster. You hear? And now, without further ado, let the carnival begin.
Quite the party. Dwarves certainly know how to party. Well, they know how to drink, which is almost the same thing.
Suka. No need to stand there waiting for someone to give you more work to do. Go and witness the fruits of our labors, revel, frolic, etc. If you need a task that badly, you can set yourself to working up an appetite. I expect you to partake heavily in our traditional cuisine, not to mention the drinks. Stone, spare me these menial tasks. If I see one more streamer... Why, if it isn't Peter, and absolutely ragged, with tedious carnival duties, no doubt. Leave my solemn duty to eat my weight in carnival food. Had the honor of delivering the banners, thank you very much. All right. Let's go. I need to switch the portrait. Cinder Drift. Oh, that's some cool music. Optimize Ultima. It's a wee bit concerning. I can definitely think from you. I love that we have the blue of Final Fantasy VII. Ooh. Okay, well, live and learn, I guess. And you can see them coming. High velocity assault. So, there's no more healers.
Take down weaponry. Restraint removed. Good. I'm still in control. So far.
Can't be. The ruby weapon is unstoppable. I'm sorry, everyone. This is the end for me. Activating Oversoul.
100%. Commencing force shutdown and system restart. Synthetic RSite switching to Oversoul mode. Loading data sample. Is combat ready? What is this? No. Get out of my mind. No, I'm not. I am. Congratulations, it's a something. Ha! And nails on points. Yuck. To purify this forsaken land. Just in time for cicada season. Oh, I know this music. What is this? Is this Final Fantasy 12? emerging ether burns in the firmament. The old meteor. Someone did fall. I know it to be true. Boy, we can get the level 3 limit break. That'd be a heck of a thing. Oh, come on. Whatever. Oh, good. We didn't have to start at the very beginning. Oh, dang it. I'm sorry, dude. I did not mean to bring that problem to your doorstep.
Got him. All right, go team. Hey, I got accommodation somehow. Thank you. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. As ever, an impressive display. Though I am sure you will concur, the ultimate weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. If their research is allowed to continue, the next model will be nigh on unstoppable. With that in mind, the alliances have lifted the help of... Wait. I hear something. Here to sift through what remains of Ruby weapon, are you? Allie, what do you think you're doing? Allie. Father. It's been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. And you too, Rex. That's right. Given that the Empire is proceeding with a weapon project and making inroads into Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. Wonderful to see you again, Father. Although I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. I know a lot's happened, but I'm just glad you're all right. And now you can come back to Garlemald with us. My days of serving the Empire are over. Because you suspected of assassinating of Emperor Varys? But we know you'd never do a thing like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back the way it was. Oh, my head. I suddenly remember things. Things I did not actually experience. So he found you two shriveling on the roadside when he was going through Wirlet. Lucky for you, huh? If he hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. As for us three, our parents all died in the epidemic. We'll soon be begging in the street corners for one for him. I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. Well, he fights for the Empire, so you should too. That'll make him proud of us. You're saying we should join the army? I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in the world is scared of the Garleans. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right. He always says that the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. All right, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in. Maybe one day people look up to us like they do Lord Gaius. It's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Wouldn't that make Lord Gaius our father? Well, if he doesn't mind calling him that, I suppose so. And that makes you our big brother, since you're the oldest. You'd better be nice to us, or I'm telling Father. Whatever. Oh, man. I need to stop having these headaches. Father, since you went away, a lot has changed in the Empire, for us, too. If we'd known you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened.
What do you mean?
The truth is,
If you must go, I will not stop you. But answer me this. Who was piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Nalvis Vanas did not return from the dead. Who do you think?
it was Miss Sidley India.
No. No, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe you would let that happen. She was a sister to you all, to all of you.
We only want to finish what you started, Father. And while we'll never forget all that you've done for us, the next time we meet, it shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father.
That sucks. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you just did to Mencynthia. I swear it.
Well, I didn't ask her to jump in the giant robot and turn into a monster. That was you guys.
So, Emerald Weapon will be the next one, I assume. Well, well. Gaius von Belsar, we meet again. Come to see how your precious weapon project's been proceeding in your absence, have you? You'll come to collect data on the ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should still be inside the cockpit. I'll ask Volodon to escort you to the wreckage. Any idea who this Melisandre is? An imperial crony of his, perhaps?
That's his daughter.
One of the orphans he took in? Gaius always did have an eye for talent and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livia Sans Junius was another protege of his. He even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. It's strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then my father and countless others lost their lives in the Boja incident. Although he was actor under Emperor Solus's orders, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support. But he was as much of a pawn of the Emperor as my father, and refused to intervene. When my turn came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea. I blamed Gaius, as much as any of them, perhaps even more, for the barbaric acts carried out in the name of conquest. But when we met at the Praetorium, all the hatred that had been festering inside me seemed to fade away, and I remembered the man I once respected. To think, the dreaded Black Wolf is a mere plaything of the Ascians, who left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of men to early graves. It's more than most could bear. And now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I'd best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon. But I'll be back as soon as possible. If Sid is as I remember him, it will not take long for him to finish investigating the remains of this ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. My engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you ought to know right away. About the pilot. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but if Vincilia is dead, I hope you just made not to suffer. Death would have been a kindness. In my many years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the ruby weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony, as her very essence was being drained from her. So, she was sacrificed to power that infernal machine. We must act quickly to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Pieter, is there any other information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapons prior to deactivation?
Oh, yeah. It straight up turned cicada, and a big lady, popped out its back.
Niall von Darnus? Did the Legatus mean that much to Vincilia? From what I gather, it sounds as if data based on Niall's combat capabilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected and the Empire begins implanting the memories of renowned soldiers, such as the White Raven, into its soldiers, you know the Alliance doesn't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible?
A similar method of transference was used in the prototype Estinian fought, was it not? Very similar.
Your dear friend did mention he overheard the Sin Fairy loading various sets of data into a test model during battle. It would appear the system has been improved since then. While it may bear some similarities, we don't know for certain until we've analyzed the wreckage of Ruby Weapon. It cannot be denied that combining combat data with an experienced soldier with the powers of an icon has yielded remarkable results. But in doing so, the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. Oh, this is beyond forgiveness. For once I would agree with you. Yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who was supposedly killed prior to the calamity? Well, that's what I'm trying to determine. There is one possibility I'd like to explore, but I need to carry out more thorough investigation first. Sabra will provide support when you're in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest in Garlean technology, there are a few soldiers I would rather have watching my back. All right. Hey there. Let's go. In the meantime, Veladon and I will follow the Ruby Weapon's tracks back to its point of origin. We'll learn what we can of the weapon project and the manner in which Alphonse and the others were involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we'll relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this lull in Garlean activity to recuperate.
All right. Would I be correct in guessing, that this belated reunion with those darling orphans of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius. If you so much as think of returning to your Imperial Masters, I will kill you. Oh, I was happy.
It'll be Doomsday. So you put down the ruby weapon? God, I wish I could have seen it. Not from too close, mind. I suppose I should report news of your victory to the higher up. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle?
Oh, sure. We fought, and then a big lady popped out its back, and then I killed her.
Ugh, you make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, anyone would think you slay hulking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all of this into a report and leave a copy over there, should you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you'll be having more pressing matters to take care of, like going for a celebratory pint. If the Garleans pluck up the courage to come knocking again, we'll let you know. Till then, rest up.
Meanwhile, in the Relict Magitech installation,
Should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us. I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Ellie. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he would find some way to intervene. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Melissendia's death be in vain. Even if it means going against Father's wishes. Cheer up, Alphonse. We don't go back to being one big happy family after we've dealt with those pesky Eorzeans. It'll be just like the old times. If only it was that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me, I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next. Oh, ye little faith. With me at the helm of the sapphire weapon, it'll all be over before you know it. Whatever happens, Rex, promise us you'll come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you, too. Mm-hmm. It's going to be all the various hair colors. He's going to be emerald weapon, and that guy's going to be diamond weapon. Pieta, I'm afraid we haven't much in the way of information to share from the front line. We have, however, received word that Gaius wishes to speak to you at the Alliance headquarters. I've arranged an escort to take you to headquarters, so when you're ready to depart, speak with the fellow over there. Totally wrong voice. I have to say, it was a most exhilarating battle. I never dreamed that I would have a chance to see a ferocious war machina like that with my own eyes. You might find it odd for a citizen of Eorzea to be so excited about something sent by the Garleans to slaughter us all, but as an avid follower of all things organic and mechanical, I just can't help myself. Oh, to be able to pilot such a majestic creation. Perhaps I should defect to the Empire and offer my services. Ever since the time of the original Ultimate Weapon, I've fallen in love with this fusion of elegant and Garlean design. Oh, it takes my breath away. So much so that I use my spare moments in the ironworks to develop a line of miniatures. And now, your recently vanquished foe shall be an inspiration for my next endeavor. Would you do me the honor of casting your gaze across the piece once it's complete?
Don't blame me if I smash it to smithereens.
Did you say something? Oh, whatever it was, I'm sure you're offering heartfelt words of encouragement. It's the support of fans such as yourself that make this such a worthwhile hobby. I'm proud to say my work adorns the homes of many like-minded machina lovers. The Ultimate Weapon and Magitech Reaper miniatures, to name but two of my creations, were especially popular. Of course, wouldn't be much of an engineer if I could only make inanimate ornaments. Behold, I've restored this elegant relic, added a few flourishes of my own, and dubbed it the Real Virtuality Combat Simulator Experiencer. By feeding it various pieces of data, such as images of my replicas and so on, it's able to create a range of combat scenarios. For research purposes, of course, not entertainment. Oh, no. I see you practically chomping at the bit to give it a try. There's no stopping you adventurer types. Won't be long till my latest work is complete. All that remains is one or two final adjustments, so don't go anywhere.
Go to the bathroom, I'll be right back. continue. Of late, all I can think of are weapons, weapons, weapons. I channel this passion into crafting homages to my favorite war machina. This is more than a mere hobby. It's the wind in my sails. Let's take a look at the ruby weapon. Ruby weapon? A fine choice. Please, allow me a moment to prepare. Feast your eyes on the likeness of the Crimson Conqueror, the Vermilion Villain, the Scarlet Scoundrel, the one and only Reuben weapon. Ruby weapon, not Reuben. As I'm sure you'll remember, his most prominent characteristics were its impregnable armor plating, adroitly depicted here, and its long, flexible claws, which are, well, you'd have to imagine those for now. The head and arched neck are somewhat reminiscent of a ravenous void scent, which may be the result of having absorbed a primal, possibly even one summoned by those resisting the Empire. In that case, it could even be considered an ally of sorts. That's nice. Ah, there I go, getting carried away as usual. I can tell you absorbed as much information as you can handle for now, so why don't we fire up the Real Virtuality's Combat Simulator Experiencer. You'd best brace yourself, because even I don't know what's going to happen. Cinder Drift Extreme not available. Alright. Accessible. Totems earned in the Sorrow of Word can be exchanged for gear and other items by speaking at the Sintra at Revenant's Toll. Yeah, they're a resistance fighter. Ready to head out? Sure. Hey there, Cerberus. Good, you're here. The Ironworks have completed their analysis of Ruby Weapon, and Sid Garland wishes to share his findings. I take it you can spare a few moments? Sure. Very good. Please wait here while I inform you of your arrival. Sure thing.
Glad you could make it, Peter. I'm sure you're as anxious as anyone to hear what we've uncovered. Our early hypotheses have proven correct. The Garleans have designed a system whereby a pilot's consciousness could be forcibly supplanted with data based on the memories and experiences of another. So even a rank amateur could obtain the combat capabilities of a seasoned warrior. Precisely. And we've learned that this was made possible when we opened the cockpit. The monitors are still operational, and among the messages displayed, one particular phrase caught my attention: synthetic aurosite system. Which is what exactly? Well, the core of the ultimate weapon was referred to as the Heart of Sabik by the Asians. We believed it had been a type of aurosite. I can't say much about the synthetic sort at this range, but I've encountered real aurosite before. It's extremely potent, perhaps equal in power to the Heart of Sabik. It's unclear whether the Garlean simulacrum possesses the same properties as genuine aurosite, but I intend to follow this avenue of inquiry to see where it leads. What we do know is that it's used to implant the combat data of Nell Van Darnus into the pilot, who has been presumed dead since before the calamity. Are you any closer to discovering how they're able to retrieve this data? The link didn't occur to Gaius at first. But he later told me of devices fitted to the Majestic's armor of the Empire's higher-ranked officers. There's a reason to believe they were designed to emulate the soul crystals used throughout Eorzea. Oh yes, that's rumored to be its true purpose. It was never publicly acknowledged. Perhaps those in the upper echelons of command wanted to avoid comparisons to the so-called savages they were meant to be conquering. Now, there's also the question of whether the system even functions as intended. Oh? From what we've seen, we can assume they were successful in gathering combat data from those wearing armor equipped with the device. If the comparison with soul crystals is valid, perhaps this data was transferred via ether. However, It seems it was extracted not only memories related to combat, but the soldier's very essence. As you saw, the pilot succumbed entirely to the will of von Dardus. Though this is merely supposition, it's possible that being fused with the ruby weapon's core accelerated the process and caused the deceased legatus to manifest in corporeal form. Could it be the death of the pilot was caused by the system malfunctioning? It's hard to say. The ruby weapon itself was largely intact when it was deactivated, which strongly implies it was a synthetic aura site running amok that killed her, rather than damage incurred during the battle. But even after our analysis, I'm afraid we still don't have enough information. For now, perhaps we should consult with Gaius as our next plan of action. All right, let's do it.
Hey there, Gaius. Hey, Guy.
Ludlin has come bearing vital information.
I traced the ruby weapon's path back to the occupied territory of Eretz, which appears to be where it was built. My grasp of geography is surprisingly poor. Care to enlighten me?
While Alamigo is placed to the western edge of Gilnet, Werland lies on the opposite side to the east. It was once a proud and prosperous city that was brought to its knees by Imperial invaders. You seem rather well informed. Perhaps I should have taken you with me. I thought that much was common knowledge. It's also where Alphonse and the others were born. And now the weapon project has brought him home. Yes, the place is now rife with Imperials. They've established an airship supply depot in the coastal town of Turncliffe. According to the locals, something resembling one of the weapons was transported there a few days ago. This bodes ill indeed. Were it possible, I would attempt to capture Alphonse and his followers before they could launch an offensive. However, the distance between here and Turncliffe presents a considerable obstacle, and in all likelihood, their weapon will be ready long before we arrive. Approaching by sea would allow us to save time by circumventing their ground-based troops, provided we were able to secure a vessel. If you could use the Enterprise and take a more direct route of all, as the crow flies, in fact, it's a perfect chance to put my top-secret plan into action. And might I ask what that entails? Wouldn't be much of a secret if I told you now, would it? What I can say is there's a starring role planned for you, Peter. Why so surprised? You didn't think I'd let you off that easy, did you? It'll be here soon, so don't go anywhere.
I mean, sure, why not?
I see Stid still delights in keeping others in suspense. I can only hope he does not make us wait over long. All right, I'll use the restroom again.
I'll be right back.
All right, well, let's go. Time to sleep now in Sapphire. Sapphire weapon. Oh. What is that? So here it is, Peter. I present Garland Ironworks' adaptation of Ultima Warrior. The G Warrior. Just need to find the right spots, right? Ah. All right, just a moment. I know elegant design when I see it. Excavated from one of the ruins, no doubt. As is law, to be precise. We came across it during the course of our investigations and decided to be ashamed to let it all go to waste. Don't recognize that one. And you'll be taking this retrofitted relic to face the enemy head-on, yes? Perhaps my knowledge of the Ultima weapon will be of use. I'm counting on it, as it happens. But first, we'll need to perform a test run in the simulator before throwing you into battle. Come, we haven't much time. Sit now in Sapphire. Oh, to be commenced. In the battle, you'll fight as the G Warrior. The G Warrior training simulation. I prepared 3 trials to teach you the basics. Okay. First, I want you to try attacking the guidance system. Don't worry, it won't fight back. G Warrior is armed with a range of weaponry. Now's your chance to learn what it's capable of. So far, so good. Let's move on to something a bit more advanced, shall we? You're just equipped with a parasitic booster, which diverts even more powerful weapons and increases its speed and maneuverability. This comes, however, at a price. Activating its places a huge strain of G-Warrior, so it must only be used in short bursts. That's why it's best to practice here while heading into battle. Try activating the Pyrotetic Booster. Access granted. Terminate circulation. Notice your movement speed is much improved, but it shows in your monitor the G-Warrior becomes more and more structurally unstable as time passes. To deactivate the parasitic booster, press the same button again. Auto restoration can mitigate a certain amount of damage in turret, but don't rely on it to carry you through the battle. Now try using the parasitic booster to destroy the target. It's on a note to launch wide-ranging attacks in quick succession. With your increased movement speed, you should have no trouble evading them. Excellent work, Peter. It's best to deactivate the parasitic booster while explaining the first vital trial. We've covered offense, now look at defense. This is where the ethereal Aegis should come in handy. Okay. Unfortunately, you can't keep the barrier up indefinitely, as it will drain the G-Wire's power reserves. You might even run out of energy for the weapons, so watch out. First, let's try deploying the ethereal Aegis. Monitor shows how much power is being drained. Don't let it get too low. Enough for now. Turn off the barrier by using the same button to deploy it. For the last trial, we'll use the infinite Aegis while attempting to destroy the target. Like before, there's nowhere to escape the attacks, so you'll need to weather them using the barrier. Destroy the target while defending against its attack. Eager to weather the storm. Well, I guess to weather the storm. You're natural, all right. That's everything. Time to end the simulation. Duty complete. Now we're about to have a mecha battle. Are you sufficiently prepared? Sure, why not? Then we depart for Turnglyph at once. They're expecting us, but who is the pilot? Peter, almost there. You better have your wits about you. Man, I despise macro games.
Warrior, do the thing.
Now get ready to strike.
Oh, it's too late to back out.
That's the Peter I know, always with a joke at the ready. Wait, you are joking, aren't you?
Mark 4, and I can war back another sapphire weapon. It's going to take me 80 tries. Cannot afford to lose. All or nothing. Activating Nova Soul. Have this combat sample ready. Initiating organic core override.
No, I can't. Hold on. I'll be monitoring the situation from the air. Follow my instructions and eliminate the target.
I have negative excitement for this. Oh, you gotta do a mecha battle. Some subjects have been busy. I shall begin breaking in the new toy. Ancon. Please use the pirate jet. There you go. Like if born cerulean flame. Ultima is the ethereal Aegis. I got it. Commercial, not for long. Look for signs of movement. Preparing to strike. Quickly, deploy the Aegis. Preparing to self-destruct. Destroy using Ultimate Buster.
Power booster and keep moving. Just absolutely perfect. Is visually prepared? Nope. Let's get this over with. Very easy. I have no interest at all in this mecha version. I just need to get past it. I have no interest at all in it. This is boring and garbage. I need to get through it. Enjoy breaking into a new toy. This is that product icon. Make sure you power take the booster and Aegis. Only when I have to. Born in cerulean flames. Ultima, use the ethereal Aegis. Emerge, nothing along with the signs of movement. And just very quickly deploy the Aegis. Ultima. Ultima Buster. You know, I would. If I had it. If only there was some way to improve. I don't even care a little about anything. Ultimately, use this area later. I mean, if I have to. Movement not for long and useless for signs of movement. Turn to strike, quickly deploy the Aegis. Preparing to self-destruct. Quickly! Deploy the Ultima Buster! starts to focus on attacks only. Weapons. Focus on them, then destroy the cerulean whatever. Just gonna wait. Eliminate the cerulean servants first. It's the only way. Duty complete. I will never have to do this again, right? Right? Man, I have so little interest in playing a mecha game. I mean, just none. Negative interest in this. Target has been silenced. Understood. This is one of the few tasks that has felt like a chore in this game. Now that the immediate threat has been dealt with, we should gather what information we can on Turncliffe. Alright. Moving right along. Let's admit I envy your talents. Would that I possessed even a fraction of your skill, I could better serve Gaius. You did well to pilot the G-Warrior so adeptly in so short a time. And with the weapon largely intact, Sid and his researchers should be able to gather a wealth of valuable information. Before it is dismantled, perhaps we should take one last look upon our fallen foe. Do I have to? I have so little interest in this. Oh, my hip. Ah, man, mecha anime always gives me a migraine. Should have known Father and his friends would track us down sooner or later. Now they're at our doorstep, and the sapphire weapon still isn't ready. Even so, I should be able to fend them off, or at least buy us some time. Wrong voice. Not quite how I imagined it, but it's still as good as seems as good a way as die as any. Whatever. Rexi. Rykon, why are you still here? You're supposed to be moving the other weapons to a safe location. You can take care of that when I pirate the sap. You can take care of that while I pilot the sapphire weapon. What are you even talking about? I'm the pilot, not you. There's no need to put your life on the line. Besides, it's still incomplete. I can barely perform basic maneuvers. It'd be practically useless in a real fight. Well, we have a solution. Oversold. You want to end up like Melisandre. Well, no, of course not. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But she didn't give her life in vain. The ruby weapon left that data behind, which would be used to improve the system, prevent any further malfunctions. What difference does it make? Once Oversoul's activated and the pilot fuses with the core, there is no going back. That's why I should be the one to pilot the sapphire weapon, not you, Rex. Alphonse needs you. You and I both know I'm the least qualified pilot we have. There's less to lose if I don't make it back. No, I won't let you.
Please, Rex, hear me out. Ever since we were children, I was the smallest, the weakest, too afraid to stand up for myself. But I had the best brothers and sisters a boy could hope for. They was always there for me. You was always there for me, protected me. Now it's my turn to protect you. Take the other weapons and get out of here. See this through to the end. Do it for me from Alessandia. I'm counting on you, Rex. Kill our dad. Make me proud. You always did have a stubborn streak. All right, Rykon. I won't let you down. Just promise you'll wait for me on the other side. We'll meet again, brother. You all made me happier than I had any right to be. Now I finally found my purpose. I have no regrets. Time to kill myself for no reason. Come on, Sapphire. We may be far from perfect. We have a job to do. Let's give Father something to remember us by. The worst mission of the game so far. That's what it is. That's not true. The Come On missions from Realm Reborn was the worst so far. But this is second. The Echo, I presume. What did it reveal to you? Your least useful kid died. Rykon. My poor boy. You were braver than most could ever hope to be. I am so proud of you for committing suicide without cause. It's as we feared. I'm sorry, Gaius. Why did I teach my children to become worthless pawns? Sacrificed in a game of checkers. Doesn't even make sense. First Melisandre, now Recon. We must find the remaining weapons and end this madness. It may be insensitive of me to say so, but your kids, they're kind of stupid. Tell me, what do you make of Gaius Balsar? I understand the two of you have been acquainted since his days in the Black Wolf. He claims to have shed his pelts when he took up the hunt for the Ascians, but he's still the same man, deep down. He certainly kept quiet after having a flock of foster children come back from the Empire, though. It seems he'd rather bare his teeth to his former masters than allow harm to come to them. Yet, try as I might, I cannot make sense of it. Does he truly fight for the good of mankind, as he would have us all believe? Or is he merely biding his time before he reveals his true colors? Whatever the answer may be, in the end, he will always be a Garlean. And though there may be honorable men and women amongst them, I have suffered much and more as the result of their conquests. Barbaric campaigns in which Gaius Balsar played no small part. My first encounter with the Garleans was 20 years ago, shortly after the fall of Alamigo. They continued their march into the land that had long been home to we Duskrites. We sought to repel the invaders. We are woefully unprepared. Our bows and arrows were no match for their magitech, and even our most powerful magics did little to slow their advance. I fought on the front line, but was knocked unconscious in the opening exchange. When I came to, I was alone. The rest of my unit slaughtered. I hurried back to my village to look for my wife and daughter, only to find the place deserted. My search lasted for days, and then weeks, and then months. It seemed as they disappeared without a trace. I finally learned from two Imperials held at Bittermill the villagers had been captured and used as test subjects for the poison gas that would later be known as Black Rose. They were never seen again. For 20 years I roamed aimlessly with nothing but hatred to keep me alive. Eventually I found myself at the Order of the Twin Adder, who offered me a place amongst their ranks. The desire for revenge was the only thing I had left, so without a moment's hesitation, I accepted. Were it not for the war with Golemod, I would have been loath to work alongside the city-dwelling Gridanians, who for so long had treated my kind as outcasts. But none of that mattered anymore. It all culminated with Operation Archon. As you led the charge of the Praetorium, we were right behind you. And when the place came crumbling down, most of us were caught in the rubble. I escaped with my life, though many others were less fortunate. Having dragged myself free of the rubble, I sought a way out. It was then that I encountered none other than Gaius Belsar, on the verge of death. The gods had delivered me the man whose conquest had robbed me of everything. I was poised, ready to exact my revenge, and that was when he spoke.
I will not beg for mercy. I only ask that you stay your hand a little while longer. I cannot die until I've rid the world of the Ascian menace. For millennia, mankind has danced to their tune, but no more. Then, once we are finally free, my life is yours for the taking.
I would have struck him down then and there, had I not sensed truth in his words. So I decided to grant him a stay of execution and join him on his witch hunt. At the time, I kept a close eye on Gaius, all this time since as well. Though he is ever on my watch and for pursuers, he has granted me ample opportunity to slay him if I so chose. And I still might, if he shows even the slightest sign of betraying our agreement. But for now, the Ascians are my chosen quarry. If they are indeed the ones pulling the Empire strings, then it shall not end until they have been eradicated, every last one of them. I could not save my kin. There are those who may yet be spared the horrors of war. Unfortunately, dealing with the Ascians will have to wait till we brought an end to Garlemald's weapon project. Though we may have vanquished 2 of the new weapons, we must make every effort to prepare for whatever the Garleans throw at us next. Perhaps Severa can tell us whether the Ironworks engineers have uncovered any information of note. The Ironworks engineers are still at work dismantling the Sapphire weapon and investigating the Turncliffe Magitech facility. But they have yet to make their report. They may have some news to share at this juncture. Please, wait here a moment. This vaguely resembles the town we visited in Final Fantasy VIII.
We've yet to finish our investigation, but I can give you a preliminary report.
Were you able to recover anything of note?
Before abandoning the facility, they'd attempted to destroy anything they couldn't take with them, including many of their research materials. Luckily, some information relating to Sapphire Weapons combat data was intact. Judging by what we saw during the battle, it was extracted from Regula Van Hydrus, correct? It also appears the Sapphire weapon was actually in an incomplete state, and therefore unable to perform at full capacity.
Even so, it was immensely powerful. Had they been given the chance to finish it before we'd arrived, who knows how it could have ended.
Indeed. You may not be so fortunate next time, so we must prepare for the worst. The Ironworks will continue to investigate the Sapphire weapon and look into possible countermeasures. The Echo afforded you a glimpse into the conversation between Rykon and Rex prior to the weapon's development. Do you remember any other details?
I mean, sure, why not? There's this, that, and the other.
Improvements were made to the synthetic RSite system to prevent malfunctions. That was never their intent to create a manifestation of Nald on Darnus. There's one thing that was intended. Oversoul. Its activation results in the pilot being absorbed by the core, killing them in the process. Rex and Rykon were fully aware of this, were they not?
Sure seemed that way. Mm-hmm.
The death of the pilot was by design all along. Alphonse, how could you? Sacrificing your own siblings to fuel these accursed war machines.
Surely there's no cause worth paying such a price. Aye, nothing is more precious than family.
This nightmare is far from over. It appears that Rex has fled with the remaining weapons, and we can assume that Alphonse has every intention of sending them into battle. We must find a way to disable them before Oversoul can be activated. I've seen enough death. I do not wish to see any more.
Then there is no time to waste. Let us be about it, Gaius. Sebra, you're in charge here. Keep Sid and his team safe while they carry out the investigation. Understood. Please see that no harm comes to Gaius.
Oh, while we're gone, I need you to relay everything to the resistance troops. Your first-hand account should prove useful.
If there are any developments, we'll be sure to contact you. All right.
Back in this corner there should be a triple triad match. For the former Imperial. Oh, with the Empire gone, there's no way of making a living. My only hope is to win that upcoming triple triad tournament and live off the winnings. Don't suppose you'd help me with a few practice rounds?
Sure.
Draw. Your match. Always in threes. That's a win. No, I'll never win the tournament at this rate. Please, you've got to play me again.
Ah, too bad, too bad.
Ready to return to Garavania?
Indeed. Back to the locks.
Air resistance officer. Welcome back. Sounds like you've been on quite the journey. All the way to Turncliffe. And judging by the fact you made it here in one piece, I trust everything went according to plan.
More or less.
An astonishing account. I wouldn't mind putting the G-Warrior through its paces myself. Certainly a lot more stimulating than supervising this rabble, I suspect. Anyway, as before, I'll compile the information into a report and leave it over there for your perusal, should you feel so inclined. If we hear anything from headquarters, I'll be sure to pass it along. Meanwhile, in the 7th Legion's Virile headquarters? Sure. I have come to deliver my report, Lord Valence. Ah, so you've returned, young Alfred. How was it, Alwick? Not that it really matters, of course. I hear you and your darling brothers and sisters have allowed the sapphire weapon to fall into the hands of the enemy. Do tell me it isn't so. I'm afraid that is the case, Lord Valens. Oh, come now, no need to be so sullen. As they say, to err is human, to forgive divine, and you know how forgiving I can be when it suits me. Care for a milk? So tell me, whatever your name is, who was able to best the sapphire weapon? Sources state it was one known as the Warrior of Light, assisted by Sid Garland and Gaius von Belsar, my lord. Gaius. Yes, this seems to have been quite the troublemaker of late. Defecting from Garlemald, assassinating the Empire, whatever next? Oh well, there's no use crying over spilled milk. Speaking of which, I've become quite the connoisseur since arriving in Veralt. Particular variety comes from a rare breed of cow, you know. Only 100 of them in existence, and pampered every day of their lives. Yes, they are quite valuable until their milk dries up, that is. When it does, they're sent to the slaughterhouse like all the rest. For that is their lot in life. To be discarded once they have served their purpose. Did I create the ruby and sapphire weapons so you could deliver them to a gift wrapped to the enemy? I can see it now. Sid Garland, rubbing his hands with glee at all the technological marvels we've bestowed upon him. And you let Gaius von Balthasar, of all people, get the better of you. How do you think this reflects on me? The legatus of the 7th Legion, humiliated by that traitor? Humiliated, I say. There's only one way to deal with worthless provincial filth like you. Wait for me in the correction chamber. You need to be taught a lesson in obedience. Yes, my lord. Forgive my intrusion, Lord Valens, but it's time for your meeting with the head of the Magitech development. Oh, how time flies when you're whipping useless soldiers into shape. Yes, I'll be along. Once I've made myself presentable. Can't have people thinking I let my standards slip, now can I? So we don't get to see his face. We have to only assume that there's a reason for that. What are you doing here?
You wish to see me, Lord Valens?
Did I now? Oh, yes, that's right. So you're Ali, yes? and you joined the military of your own free will, along with your fellow orphans. Such devotion. What an inspiration you are. You see, it is my firm belief that love grants us the power to move mountains, to overcome any obstacle. Together, we shall discover the strength that lies within you. Take my hand, child. I will show you the way. That's not creepy at all. Sid's investigation in Turncliffe has led to some startling revelations. Good to see you, Peter. I was pleased to report that Master Garland and the others uncovered a fair bit of useful information at the Imperial facility in Turncliffe. In fact, he'd like you to rendezvous with Gaius in the town square, where they'll reveal what they've found. Once you're ready to depart, your escort will lead the way. I don't think of his weapons, a chanceless passion into crafting homages for your favorite war machina. It's more than a mere hobby, it's the wind in my sails. Alas, I'm lacking fresh inspiration. For without the necessary stimulations, my tools are left gathering dust. I'm just getting through this. All set for the journey ahead? Travel to Turncliffe? Sure, why not? Hi, Gaius. Now that you're here, perhaps Sid will finally deign to dispense his findings. Severa, inform him of Pieter's arrival. Thanks for coming. So, what is it you've discovered? To tell the truth, we were lucky to obtain any information at all, considering the lengths to which the Imperials went in covering the tracks. You see, the hangar below, not just used to store weapons, but played a critical role in their creation. We now know the code names given to 3 of the weapons: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Obviously, we're familiar with the first 2, but the third is something of an unknown quantity. At the very least, it confirms the existence of another of those abominations. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get after it. Get it over with. The problem lies in ascertaining its whereabouts. None of the locals have seen anything resembling a weapon being transported either by land or air. Which of course leaves only one option: the sea. According to what fragmented data we were able to recover, the Emerald weapon was equipped with aquatic capabilities, much like Sapphire. Meaning that its escape from Turncliffe could have gone unnoticed, and could potentially be anywhere by now. But if Alphonse plans to have it absorb more primals, the logical choice would be Eorzea. Traveling by sea would allow them to circumvent the front line of Gilnet entirely. The Alliance must be alerted at once. Hold your chocobos, Severa. It seems the Emerald weapon was still incomplete when the 7th Legion withdrew from Turncliffe. It's far more likely it was transported by another facility in order to aid the finishing touches. If your supposition is correct, it would narrow our search to but 2 possible locations: Castrum Marinum in the Ronto Sea and Castrum Occidens in eastern Lenosha, both of which are known to harbor remnants of the 14th Legion, your former subordinates, Gaius. Be that as it may, our objective is unchanged. Budlin, you and Severa will make your way to Castrum Occidens, while Pieter and I head to Castrum Marinum. Should we locate the Emerald weapon, we will give the signal to dispatch the G-Warrior and eliminate it before it can be activated. G-Warrior. Sorry to disappoint you, but we're still repairing the damage sustained from the encounter of the Sapphire weapon. While elegant machinery has its uses, it's a bugger to find replacement parts in a punch. We've actually been working to expand its already impressive arsenal, but the G-Warrior itself is in no fit state for combat. While I'm aware this is far from adequate replacement, I can provide an ironworks submersible to help Pieter and Gaius reach Castrum Meridianum. I'll have one set aside at Vesper Bay. I'd much rather deal with a submarine than a mecha.
A submersible, eh? Ugh. I don't much like the sound of that. Perhaps Sever and I should count ourselves fortunate that our destination can be approached by land. I pray you have a safe journey. Watch yourself out there, Pieter. Oh, yeah. I'd much rather deal with a frickin' submarine than mech, you know.
Tis time we departed. Let us make our way for Vesper Bay.
Vesper? Nuclear vessels, where are they?
As per Master Garland's instructions, the submersible is ready when you are. Before you depart, I've received some scraps of intelligence regarding your opponent from my colleagues in Turnwolf. Apparently it uses some sort of levitating, hand-like appendages. 6 of them, in fact. I'm not quite sure what purpose they serve. Sounds like having eyes in the back of your head come in handy. But that's all we know, I'm afraid. You have our thanks. After all, forewarned is forearmed. If the emerald weapon has indeed been transported to the castrum, it would need to enter via the dry dock, and we shall do so likewise. As one might suspect, there are measures in place to keep out intruders, but the security systems can be tricked into recognizing us as an Imperial vessel. That said, infiltrating the facility is merely the first step. Should the emerald weapon be activated, it's only a matter of time before the pilot uses Oversoul. We must silence the War Machina before this happens, and failing that, grant the poor soul at its helm the mercy of a swift death. Had these wounds healed more quickly, I could have gone with you, but I fear I would only slow you down. As such, I shall provide you what support I can from afar. Whatever happens, the emerald weapon must be defeated at all costs. Yep. Castrum Meridianum now accessible.
The central Thanalam.
Just checking to make sure there wasn't anything special to do here. Alright, Central Thanalan it is. Before I head to the first world, I also need to get the thing with the Peering Stones done. The Ananta mission. Alright, well, I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
Continue lettuce. Alright. Well, since this is not active, to the peering stones. And I'll do this one with pressure. Or bard, as the case may be. 8 a.m. with a lightning storm in the background. Very purple. Have you a moment or two to spare, Peter? Wrong voice. Have you a moment or two to spare, Peter? I have an overconfident recruit who could benefit from a sparring session with one of your experience. Captain Alpa is expending every effort to secure a position here on the bridge, and we cannot afford to have an unreliable soldier in our ranks. Let us find this recruit training an instructor in the Trife Hills. Open my sister's eyes to her shortcomings, Peter. And lions are fearful creatures. Just when you think the way is clear, suddenly the ground erupts beneath you, and you have been caught in the grip of a crushing mandibles. Such has been the fate of far too many travelers bound for the Castellum, soldiers and merchants both. The captain has given us orders to slay these Viking ambushers on sight, but that is part of the problem. We never see them unless they wish to be seen. Now, there are antlions out there, but a few in particular have become skilled in preying upon our travel routes, as those who wish you to kill. Go to Pike Falls and wander alone amongst the rocks. You need make no special effort to find your targets. They'll find you. Just a strider I wish to see. We have soldiers out on a joint training exercise, and we have sent a request for aid. As matters stand, he'll be needing a griffin to render the necessary assistance. Gif will explain the situation. Hey there, Gif. What's up?
Here to lend a hand, are you, lad? I don't know what Gaisania sold you, but it seems our fighters are being swarmed by tiny flying Valken, actual swarms of them. I don't know what our folk did to annoy them, but once his pets get riled up, there's no shooting them away. My plan is for you to fly a griffin over to Virginia and have it disperse those biting buggers with a good buffet of the wings. Once you're done, you can hop off whenever you please. The griffin's trained to return to me after the rider dismounts. Might be easiest if you report directly to Shana, of course. The antlions at Pike Falls. Above the frenzied swarm.
Oh, thank you so much. I thought those little bastards had eaten me alive. Those pests ignored me and flew straight at him. Curious. I'll head back for now and have this strider's wound seen to.
Get rid of the swarm. There we go.
Oh, why did you? Oh, they're gone, thank Rauger. And thank you. If you hadn't come, my comrade here would have been bitten and stung to death. I'm not exactly the kind of training I signed up for. We'd best find a new place to spar. Phew. Oh, you're the Icon Slayer. Oh, I need to have you for the one like as me. I was told to fight you. Oh, you've come to train our stone-headed sister. Good. She has a talent for the spear and the blade, but has yet to learn the value of humility. If you're ready to spar, then let's be about it. Like that. Oh, I need to catch my breath. I appreciate the way you just humbled her, Strider. Watching your fight was as much joy for me as it was a lesson for her. And now that you have knocked her down, it'll be my job to build her back up again. This time with better habits, I should hope. Ishana will be pleased. Oh, I'm glad I could help. Take out this ant lion, and then we should be able to turn all this stuff in. And maybe start on some last missions with the... not an ant, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the snake peoples. Take out creatures there. And this might set us on the path we're needing to go. How with the trading? Well, she didn't even hit me once. Oh, you spared her no mercy then. Oh, that's good. I only hope the change in her perspective lasts longer than her bruises. And if it doesn't, well, I may send you for another sparring match. That's good. And lions lie dead, I trust. Oh yeah, I took care of them. Thank you, Peter. Those ambushers are especially cunning and know not how to reveal themselves to our hunting parties. As I suspected, however, they underestimated the might of a single adventurer. I may take several more forays, but eventually they'll come to fear this prey which bites back. Was Griff's plan a success? Oh, yeah. That's a relief. Being blasted by a griffin's wings is likely unpleasant, but better than suffering a slow death from the swarm. I've been told by sisters it's only a matter of certain stock, who would be targeted by the Vilekin. Have a taste for Highlander blood, it would seem. Speaking of which, Giff's apparently terrified of the insects. He must have been glad indeed that you arrived to perform his rescue in his stead. So 110 left. Alright, we'll get this mending done. We'll try breaking brick mountains yet again. And if that doesn't work, we'll move on. Castrum Marinum. And there you have it. Castrum Marinum. This is it.
The emerald weapon. I have been expecting you, Hero of Eorzea. Look, Father, this is the power that we command. Anti-Akan War Mechana, the emerald weapon. I have unpleasant memories of this from Final Fantasy VII. So much tougher than Sephiroth.
That could have got better. Really?
Formation through the desert all those years ago. Tell me this, now that I can't afford to lose. Not even you can beat the Empire's finest. Activate overload. Belsar combat data ready. Initiating organic core overwrite. Ali Alphonse, this is goodbye. Rex, what have you done? What's the meaning of this? Wait, that glow. Bear witness to the glory of the Empire.
Hey, it looks kind of familiar.
This is Berlitz, the time of the invasion. The synthetic aurosite be causing this.
Then it resets.
Prepare to advance. Form the ranks. Fire. Optimized ultimate, here it comes. That's the wrong button. And so it ends. Why would Rex throw away his life for this?
Stupid reasons.
You're right. If I'm ever to learn the truth, I must concentrate on the task at hand. Of course, we do not need to wait for Sid's analysis to tell us whose combat data was used on this occasion. Galls me to think my techniques and strategies could be so closely replicated. Nevertheless, the observations I made during the battle may yet prove useful. As a matter of fact, there was not only information I was able to gather. I intercepted a signal which revealed the troops stationed here were permitted to withdraw, seemingly in return for assisting the 7th Legion. They must have known the Alliance would follow the Emerald Weapon here sooner or later, and made good their escape. Meaning, the way is now clear for Sid to intercept the War Machina's remains, or inspect them. Either one. We got here as soon as we could. Not that we could have done anything to prevent this tragedy. From what we know, it seems the Emerald Weapon was ilm for ilm a great deal more powerful than the previous two. If this was allowed to continue, who knows what sort of monstrosity the 7th Legion would conceive of next. Nevertheless, Pieter has once again proven himself capable of overcoming the worst the Empire has at its disposal. You may be relieved to know that Castrum Ulcidens was free of anything resembling a weapon. Unfortunately, it was devoid of any useful leads, and became away empty-handed. In all honesty, part of me wishes we'd never found the Emerald Weapon. Perhaps then Rex would not have been forced to make the ultimate sacrifice. I only hope he is finally at peace. We will do what we can to spare others from sharing his fate. I and the Ironworks will search this place, from top to bottom for clues as to the 7th Legion's plans. Before that, allow us to sweep up the area for booby traps and the like. I would not put it past the Imperials to have left a few surprises for us. Agreed. I shall go with you. With that in mind, I'll begin my examination of the Emerald Weapon. Carefully, that is.
All right. Whew. Oh, yeah. Alphonse, you knew all this time, didn't you? Miss Lindy and Rykon, too. Everyone except me. Everyone except me.
That's the right voice.
And you, Rex?
Yes, that's what the synthetic Arsite system is. The fusion between pilot and core is the key to Oversoul. And unless we use it, we don't have a chance of beating Father's newfound friends. They stand between us and the primals, without which the weapons will never reach their full potential. We thought if you knew the truth about Oversoul, you'd try to stop us.
Well, of course I would. What I don't understand is why all of you are so willing to give your lives to the weapon project. What is it all for?
It all began the day Father left. Without his guidance, his protection, the Arleans lost any respect they once had for us. But their cruelty pales in comparison to Valen's. To him, conscripts like us are expendable commodities, an endless supply of test subjects for his twisted experiments. But no matter what they do to us, we will never lose hope. It is the duty of the strong to lead the weak. We will become strong and protect those who cannot protect themselves. The weapon project will give us the strength we need. We will create a world where people like us can live without a fear of persecution. We want you to see this new world for yourself, Allie, even if we must give our lives to make it a reality.
But why me?
The years spent serving the Empire has changed us all. All of us except you, Allie. Even after everything you've seen, you're still a caring, innocent girl we grew up with. More than any of us, you deserve a chance at happiness. That's what we all agreed. Allie, listen to me. Right now, The soldiers assigned to watch over us have been called away to the capital. Now is our chance to get you out of here.
Then why don't you come with me?
If Alphonse and I were to run away now, they'd only force others to take our place. We can't let that happen. This is our way of upholding the ideas Father instilled in us. Our lives are a small price to pay for Welget's freedom.
Oh, no. How can you expect me to leave you behind? I won't do it.
Man, the male are huge compared to the girls. It just leads to so many questions and so many unfortunate answers. We will forever be at your side, Allie. Rex, take care of the holding cells.
No, let me go.
So when I lose, the plan is to hand over the cast from the father. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Yes, they'll take Allie into their custody before the Galleons return, while you are free to pilot the Emerald weapon without her interfering. We can't let her hinder the completion of the weapon project. I'm counting on you, Alphonse. Don't let our sacrifices be in vain. Rex, have you forgotten what I told you? You mustn't use Oversoul. I can't lose you, too. Oh, we both know I can't win without it. Besides, we need the combat data for Emerald weapon fighting at its peak if we're ever to have a chance of perfecting the synthetic auroside system. You know it's not the sort... I know I'm not the sort to do things by halves. Oh, forgive me, Rex. Don't you worry about me. If this is where I meet my end, I'll do it with a smile on my face. And the rest is up to you, Alphonse.
This is the girl you spoke of, yes? She was locked in a cell, but I saw no harm in letting her out. I can't say for certain, but it seems she's been through quite an ordeal. No.
Yeah, we just killed your brother.
Why, Rex? Why?
Gaius, once we've extracted the core, we'll take it back to Tencliff for analysis. Perhaps she should come with us. There's no use in her staying here. In fact, there's no use in her staying here.
She's having a bad time. Speak with Gaius.
Severus taking care of Allie, but it'll be some time until her nerves have settled. If the vision you witnessed is indeed true, Alphonse and Rex locked her away for her own safety. When she's ready, I would know more of what her brother hopes to achieve, and why he must resort to such desperate measures.
Allie's condition has improved somewhat, but she remains in a state of shock. We must give her more time to recover.
There's one other thing I thought you should know. When we checked her for injuries, we saw her back covered in welts and bruises. Who did this to her?
It seems she was subjected to beatings on a regular basis, judging by the varied state of the bruising. I dare say this is the work of her Garlean masters. I am not shocked. Speak as though you've seen this before. Seen that? I lived through this myself. I was born in Rogat. 23 summers past. My mother was a local woman, but my father was a purebred Garlean and a member of the occupying forces. Though I know very little about him, his rank afforded me imperial citizenship. His acknowledgement of our familial ties was the extent of the relationship he took for bringing me into this world. Still, it's more than can be said of most of his ilk. My mother and I were shunned by the people of Rogat, treated us as badly as the Garleans did, not worse. I thought if I were to become an imperial soldier, my position would be somehow deter those who would cast scorn on my mother, if only out of fear. And so I joined the army. The acceptance I earned was but temporary, however. My superiors were quick to blame my any perceived shortcomings on my savage lineage. Rather than waste time on official court-martials, they administered their own form of corporal punishment. I was eventually assigned to the 12th Legion and found Rosinos Ve Galvis in El Amigo. In the chaos that followed our defeat, I seized the opportunity to flee Berget. I was never much of a home. It was all I had. Nothing could prepare me for what awaited. My mother had for several years suffered from poor health and relied on medicine to keep her alive, and in my absence the Garleans had denied her treatment, claiming it would be wasted on savages. By the time I could return to her side, there was nothing I could do. There was nothing left for me in Rogat. I would be punished for deserting. I ran as far as my legs could carry me. It was then that I met Gaius. So that's the truth of it. Other than a few scant details, I knew not of your past. It sickens me to think I once fought under the same banner as these vile creatures. I'd always believed it to be the duty of the strong to lead the weak. Yet there are those who become drunk on the power afforded their station and prey on those that they should be protecting. Like a canker, this corruption has spread to every part of the Empire. Even those with Garlean blood, such as myself, were subjected to their cruelty. They held particular contempt for the Ara, an easy target for abuse, being so few in number. Perhaps, like me, Ali thought she would be spared such treatment when she joined the army. Alas. The only hope that with the time Ali could put the past behind her and make a new life for herself, but for now all we could do is wait for her delirium to subside. It's Fidenium's turn to keep watch. Let us ask him if there's been any change. Mm-hmm. I very much got a Moon Knight theme to my outfit. Just occurred to me. I suppose you're here to ask about Allie. Is she well enough for us to speak to it? Is she well enough for her to speak to us? As her condition has improved somewhat, I should say so, provided you do not cause her any undue distress. Please wait here. Allie, I am sorry. What happened to Rex? It was my fault. Melisandre and Rykon, too. They died because of me and my foolish ambitions. Father, no. This cannot go on. Please, Allie. You must tell me all that you know. Of course. First, I need to know what became of you and your siblings after we were parted. So much has happened. It seems like a lifetime ago. After your disappearance, we were all assigned to the newly formed 7th Legion. At first, each legatus was quickly replaced by the next, until eventually a man named Valens Vanvero was given command. He was sent from the capital, but before that, he was a specialist in experimental magitech weaponry. We later discovered he was ordered by Emperor Varus to complete a project involving anti-primal war machina, the weapons. But after the Emperor's death, he was free to employ whatever methods he saw fit. His greed for power only grew. Some even say he was planning to use the power of the weapons to lay claim to the throne himself. But to think there's another reason for his obsession in the weapon project, not that he'd ever tell anyone, but he's always been muttering to himself, and I've been able to put the pieces together. He is jealous of you, Father.
Valens von Barrow. I admit, it was only recently I first heard that name.
Valens used his knowledge of magitech to devise various military strategies. He was given a position in the army and quickly rose through the ranks. That was until one man stood in his way. You, Father. He was one of the candidates to lead the 14th Legion, but that role fell to you, and after that, well, he was assigned to serve under a far more gifted engineer, Nero, who was in charge of restoring Ultima Weapon. Valens have resented you ever since, going so far as to oppose the ideals you upheld. Where you treated those who served the Empire based on merit rather than of race or origin, Valens was adamant that pure-blood Garleans are superior to all else. It never ceases to amaze me how far some would go in the name of revenge. All of that hatred just festering away. Nothing good could ever come of it.
So, the marks on his body are your handiwork? Marks on your body were his handiwork.
Yes. To Valens and his men, we are no more than fodder for his experiments. Playthings on which we can vent our frustrations, and they could vent theirs. Every day is filled with nothing but pain.
If I had remained in Garlemald, you would never have been forced to endure this abuse.
It's not your fault, Father. We could have fled from Valens if we'd wanted to. After all, we're expendable. Easily replaced. The truth is, that's exactly why we couldn't run. In saving ourselves, we would be condemning others. But if we were to stay, to see the weapon project to its completion, we would gain the power to defeat Valens and the Empire itself, freeing the world from his tyranny. That way we may start afresh and find a place we can call home. And not just for us, but for anyone who wishes to live in peace.
You would give your lives for a future you may not live to see.
We took courage from your teachings, Father. The strong must lead the weak. And we would gain that strength by whatever means necessary. We would fight for the sake of those who cannot. But we knew that you'd never consent to our participation in a weapon project, which is why we couldn't turn to you for help. As the pilots, we're the only ones who could stop Valens. We know just how powerful the weapons are. He would use them to bring the world to its knees. And his masterpiece is the worst of all. If I could only get my hands on it, then I could save Alphonse. And Oliver. Father, I know you and Alphonse stand on opposing sides of this conflict, but there must be some way you can help him. He may have called you our enemy before, but he never meant it. He still loves you, Father. You're everything he aspires to be.
I have failed him. I failed you all. But I refuse to abandon him to his fate. I will free him from Valens, if it is the last thing I do.
Thank you. He needs you, now more than ever.
Listen, Allie. I once sought the strength to rebuild the world as I saw fit. But the ultimate weapon was born not to create, but to destroy. Alphons must not follow in my footsteps. I know all too well where they lead. I will do all that I can to help your brother. Pray, tell me where he is.
He's... I'm sorry, I don't know where he could be.
In that case, I shall have the Alliance dispatch scouts. Wherever he is, we will find him. And as for you, Allie, you must stay here and rest.
Wait, you're the one who fought Rex, Rakan, and Massilia, aren't you?
Yeah, that's me.
We're the ones who threatened your homeland. You only did what you had to do. I have no right to ask to see you, but... Lend my father your strength. Save Alphonse.
I'll do what I can, but no promises.
I know now why they call you a hero. Alphonse, I'll do what I must to free you, even if it means going against Father's wishes. I have a good feeling about this new friend.
Severa, see that she gets everything she needs. Our allies must be informed of these troubling events. May I ask you to relay this news to the troops of Girabania?
Yes.
Your loving father acts may fool the others, Gaius, but not me. For every life you've saved, you've ended 1,000 more. Or is this your idea of redemption?
Call it what you will. For all of my transgressions, I believe I still have a part to play.
Was I wrong to spare you that day? Or will you honor your word? It seems the time has come for the Black Wolf to show his true colors. We'll see what happens.
Ready to return to Girabania?
Or locks. Hey there, Resistance officer.
We recently received word of your victory over the Emerald Weapon. I expect it was another fine display on your part. Not that any of us were there to see it. For that reason, we'd be grateful if you'd give us a blow-by-blow account, if you don't mind.
Oh, sure. I hit him and he died.
Good grief, it sounds like you had an awful lot to contend with. Rather you than me. I shall add this to our ever-growing stack of reports, should anyone wish to review this information ahead of the next sortie. Now, if you say so, it looks like your ordeals have taken their toll. We'll let you know if anything requires your attention, but until then, be sure to get some rest. Meanwhile, in the 7th Legion's correction chamber. Three weapons, and 3 pitiful displays of ineptitude. To make matters worse,
one of my prime candidates, your precious sister, no less, has escaped. And who should she go crawling to but that swine, Gaius? After everything I've done for her, this is how she repays me. As her older brother, it is your responsibility to instill some discipline in her, and you have failed miserably. Well, don't just stand there, boy. Of course. This is your first time, isn't it? Come along. There's no need to be shy. You see, something wicked has taken hold of this young man, and it is our job to cleanse his troubled spirit. Oh, it may look painful, but it's the only way, I assure you. Oh, he'll be ever so grateful. And you want him to get better, don't you? There's a good boy. Now, let's try again, shall we? Burn out the bad. 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 Dear Diary, today I heard more torture. It really ruined my appetite. Well done, well done. You've all made your father proud. Very proud indeed. And as for you, I thought you were cut above the rest of the savages. It appears I was mistaken. And since you allowed that wretched sister of yours to escape, it falls to you to act as her replacement. I choose you as the next pilot, and your mission is simple. Kill Gaius von Belsar, whatever it takes. And if you so much as entertain the idea of betraying me again, I'll exterminate every last one of your kind. Like the vermin that they are. Having said that, we will be forcibly initiating Oversoul using Xenos' combat data, so whatever schemes you may be hatching will never come to pass. All you need do is sit back and let the synthetic RSite system do the work, with you as a conduit. You should thank me for allowing you to become part of my masterpiece. Your worthless existence will finally have some semblance of meaning.
Lord Valen's preparations for the Overthrow trial are complete. We await your orders. Splendid. Never a dull moment around here. Now then, boys, who'd like to see something special? Come along, everyone. Father has some secrets to share with you. Man, that man is an abusive SOB. Can I set him free? Please set him free. Empires suck. This is my chance. And it's all thanks to the sacrifices made by my dear siblings. Finally, the weapon will be mine to command. Once it has reached perfection, I will be unstoppable. First Valens and the Empire itself will fall and we'll be free at last. Father, keep Alice safe. Melisandria, Rykon, Rex, I'll see this through to the end. I promise. Until then, watch over me. So, is it ready or not? The trial sequence has been primed, sir. Well, then get on with it. Initiating synthetic RSite system, loading diamond weapon simulation. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, you're helping us with a little research is all. Whatever your name is. The time has come for you to contribute to the glory of Galanald. This is not what we agreed to. You said if I took part in the experiment, you'd let my family go? Well, you have Xenos' data loaded, yes? Activate Oversoul and be quick about it. Understood, Lord Valens? Galvis combat ready sample. Galvis combat sample ready. Initiating organic core override. My mind is... No. If this is what it takes to protect you both, I love you. I'm sorry. Where is my prey? Organic code override complete. Xenos, yea Galvis, data loaded. The subject is instinctively bound to seek out prey, right from the outset. Regardless of the combat prowess it may boast, I need an obedient servant, not a ravenous beast. Enough. Shut it down. Deactivating synthetic RSite system. Ugh, how revolting. Oh, what a mess it makes of the cockpit, too. Adjust the settings, prepare for another run. Fortunately, we have the next test subject ready and waiting. But, sir, you agreed to release his family in exchange for cooperation. My, I never knew you had such a wonderful sense of humor. The great Valens van Varro, bargaining with savages? More fool for him trusting me in the first place.
Just in case you didn't hate the Empire enough.
Peter, I was hoping I might have a word with you. Ever since Turncliffe was liberated, we've been sending troops in to aid getting the town back on its feet, helping the residents, that sort of thing. We Alamegans know how hard life can be for society struggling to stand on its own after years of imperial rule. A lot of what most people would take for granted has to be rebuilt from the ground up. While we're able to assist when it comes to providing basic resources and keeping this place safe, there are countless other problems that need attending to. If you can spare the time, we could use your help. Bless you, Peter. You really are a saint. I'm sure the people of Turncliffe will benefit from having someone like you around. Once you're ready, have a word with your usual escort. I wish you all the best. Of late, all I can think about is weapons, weapons, weapons. I channel this passion into crafting homages to my favorite war machina. It's more than a mere hobby. It's the wind in my sails. Let's do an emerald weapon. Why, yes, of course. Just a moment, please. Ooh, let's be good. This thing weighs a ton. Perhaps I should have used lighter materials. So, what do you think? Is every bit as terrifying as the foe you faced? Behold, the malevolent Malachite Marauder, the vicious Viridian Villain, the Gementus Jade Giant. Actually, perhaps not that last one. Anyway, it's the Emerald Weapon! I assure you, I spared no expense in making it come true to life, so to speak. True to life as possible. The information we received regarding its design revealed several startling details. Perhaps most surprising of all were the free-floating manipulators, or hands, if you prefer, which allowed it to attack from multiple angles simultaneously. We even learned that their positioning was based on tactics used by Gaius himself when he led the Imperial invasion of Orlet. By surrounding the target, they were able to bombard it from all sides while keeping it pinned down. Yeah, okay, whatever. Not only that, but the Emerald Weapon was able to perfectly replicate Gaius's renowned Terminus S gunblade technique, though on a much larger scale. I wish I could have been there for it myself to see it. Oh, you're so lucky. Oh, goodness me, all this talking has made me rather parched. Okay, fine. Before I pour myself a nice glass of local arak, it's time for us, I think, to fire up the real virtuality Combat Simulation Experiencer to see what wonders we can conjure. Anything could happen. Someone say I didn't warn you. I am not excited about this prospect. Castro Meridian Extreme now accessible.
Your resistance escort.
The boss roped you into helping, did he? Knew you couldn't say no. Hell of a turn, Cliff? Sure, why not? And this reminds me of, like, the very first city that you invade in Final Fantasy VIII. Despondent civilian. Hugh, you're the one who piloted that war mech and defeated the Sapphire weapon, aren't you?
Yep.
I thought so. I've heard much about you. I don't know who you think I am. I doubt you know who I am. My name's Aldrinia, and I grew up here. When I saw 16, I was put to work as a Magitech engineer. Thanks to you and yours, we're now rid of the Imperials, though I fear many of us may struggle to put the past behind us. For decades, we suffered at their hands. Generations of young people were forced into the army and set off to die in some distant land. I suppose I could be considered one of the lucky few. My work here kept me away from the battlefield, and I hope that my contributions would help the others live long enough to make their way home. In the end, most of them never returned. If my efforts were in vain, I can at least honor their memory. I want to leave something behind for their sake, to prove that they haven't been forgotten, a monument bearing their names. To ensure that not a single person is omitted, I need to see the official list of conscripts. If one still exists, it'd be inside the Imperial facility beneath town, but with the Resistance troops and Ironworks engineers closing the place off, I can't get anywhere near it. Perhaps you might have a word with them for me? I'll leave as soon as I find them. Okay. Thank you. I'll follow your lead. Hey there, burly engineer. Something I can help you with? Well, I need to find a thingy thing. This lady needs to find it. I see. It's a bit unusual for one of the locals to show an interest in Imperial's leavings, but I'm sure she has her reasons. Since we're still carrying out our investigations, we've closed the place off to prevent anyone interfering. Considering it's you who's asking, though, I can hardly say no. Still, better go with her in case the others kick up a fuss. Oh, you're very kind. So we're doing the thing, and the sun's coming up. Hey there. Huh? I'm sorry for any trouble I caused. You have my thanks. Made nothing of it. I'm glad to help. As I suspected, the Imperials kept detailed records of the low conscripts. One name in particular stood out to me. My friend, Melisandria. I had no idea she'd been assigned to the 7th Legion of all places. How did you know her? I killed her, you know. It all began when we were serving together in the 14th Legion. We had much in common, both being drafted by the same occupied territory, and we soon became firm friends. And then one day she was sent to fight in Eorzea, while I remained here. The day before she left, she came to say goodbye, together with her foster siblings from the orphanage. The youngest one, Rykon, was particularly upset about not being allowed to speak with their adoptive father, Gaius von Belsar, before they departed. It was another of the orphans, Livia Sanjanus, who forbid them from seeing him. I can't say for certain, but it seemed that Livia had a strong attachment to Gaius, wouldn't let anyone else near him. As far as I could tell, he tried his best to keep Livia at arm's length whenever possible, but her devotion to him was bordering on obsession. And she became extremely jealous of the slightest sign of affection between him and her other wards. Well, his other wards. Others, however, treated him far more kindly. In fact, Perfectius Castorum in the 14th Legion came especially to meet him. Well, I was surprised that Redangan was risen to such a rank. I was even more taken aback by the unguarded manner in which he spoke with his subordinates. I'd hoped that with people like him serving on the Orlesian front, they'd be in safe hands. Then the time came for Melisandria to leave, and we shared a few final words, and then she was gone. It'd be the last I ever saw of her. Well, if you want, we got her corpse over there. After that, I was assigned to the Tribunus Lactavius of the 14th, Nero told Scivia, and I worked on restoring the ultimate weapon. I was even at the Praetorium on the day it was destroyed, but
Escaped aboard an Imperial ship moments before it came crashing down. I eventually made my way back to Wirral, only to be drafted into the 7th Legion to continue working on the weapon project. Even now, it makes me sick to my stomach to think I'd helped bring those abominations into the world. Using a living pilot to feed the weapons core was part of the design from the very beginning. Of course, I'd never dream of subjecting a true-born Ghaldean to such barbaric treatment. Not when the 7th Legion was a ready supply of provincial conscripts, ripe for the taking. The pilots were referred to only their code names, and we engineers were not made privy to their true identities. Even with this list of conscripts, I still didn't know who was sacrificed in the name of the weapon project. What's bringing into the weapon project? Forget her. What can I do? For years, all I've known is how to build tools of destruction. The 7th Legion's far from finished. They're biding their time, waiting until the right moment to unleash the final weapon. When they do, it'll bring naught but death, and woe to all who stand in their way. Even after everything they've taken from us, they still want more. If it weren't for the Empire in the city, it would still be here. She was the kindest person I'd ever met, but to the Empire, she's just another pawn in their games. I'll never forget her. There's a way I can make a difference. I know there is. But first, I need to speak with members of the Ironworks. I have a feeling that War Machina you used to beat the Sapphire weapon will be called into action again. And until then, there's still time to make improvements, and I intend to help. I'll still be going ahead with the plan to build a monument, but stopping the Empire must come first. I hope Mini-City and the others can wait a little while longer. Sure thing. Before I go, allow me to express my gratitude. I don't know what I'd have done if it weren't for you. Until we meet again. All right. Major Turner Gilabania. I think so. Got about 8 minutes left in the stream today. I don't think I'll be able to catch up to level 80 with anything about a dancer this time around. But maybe by Sunday? I hope so. So, how was your time in Turncliffe? That's alright. I see. Fate has dealt her a cruel hand, but now she has a chance to make a fresh start. The same could be said of the whole of Turncliffe. It seems the liberation of that one small town will become a pivotal moment in Wirlet's history. Perhaps it won't be too long before the rest of the region is freed from the Empire. Naturally, you would be honored to fight alongside the people of Wirlet, who won't rest until the Imperials are sent fleeing with their tails between their legs. Until that day arrives, we'll carry on doing our bit to support you and the others in ending the weapon project. I'll be sure to pass on any pertinent information. In the meantime, take care. You've come at the right time. There's some developments in Wirlet we'd like to share with you. And as luck would have it, here comes the ideal person to explain the situation. Thanks, I'll take it from here. It is so good to see you looking so well, Pieter. It's been too long, was it? Don't you think imbecile who stinks of gunpowder? Of all the people to be mistaken for, even as a joke it stings, you know. But as much as I'd love to stand around chatting, I'm afraid I've got some serious business to discuss. Following the liberation of Turncliffe, it seems the people of Wirlet have also got their hearts set on freeing themselves of the grip of the Empire. Like-minded citizens have rallied under the banner of the Wirlet revolutionaries, and they aim to dispose of the 7th Legion that currently occupies the city. Their ranks include many former conscripts, and between them they possess no small amount of combat experience. The only thing they lack is someone to lead them. After much consideration, they decided to turn to none other than Gaius Belsar. Of course, many would balk at the thought of turning to a former enemy, and many did. But desperate times call for desperate measures. His reputation as a legatus speaks for itself, and as most Alamegans will attest, he is far more responsible and pragmatic leader than his predecessor, the Mad King Theodoric.
or his successor, Xenos, for that matter. But more importantly, he was the one who led the invasion of Werlit in the first place, and who better than him to take it back? After accepting their offer, he requested the delivery of additional arms and provisions from the Alamegan resistance. But not that we have much to spare at present. We do what we can. While my comrades see to the preparations, I've been assigned to meet with him in person. I was wondering, could you accompany me to Turncliffe? Oh, sure. Oh, thanks, Peter. To be perfectly honest, coming face to face with the Black Wolf is a rather daunting prospect, even if he has supposedly turned over a new leaf. And I'm sure having you there will make a world of difference. Yeah, let's get him. I believe you're acquainted with your escort, yes? Let them know when you're ready to get going. Quest accepted. 5 minutes. Another trip to Turncliffe, is it? Yep, sure is. Hey there, guys. Ah, Gaius Belsa, I presume. I come bearing the Alamegan Resistance's official reply to your request for aid. Well, what is it? I see. You have my thanks. Does this mean we can finally make our move? Mm-hmm. With the assistance of the Alamegans, we shall soon have sufficient arms at our disposal to stand a chance at victory. But lest we forget, the 7th Legion has been conserving its strength thus far. We must be prepared for severe casualties, should its full might be brought to bear. If our lives must pay the price of freedom, we'll pay it willingly. Huzzah! Let me be clear. We Alamegans have not forgotten that it was you who led the invasion of our homeland. The blood of our fallen loved ones is on your hands. Even so, the people of Werlit chose you to lead the revolution, and we will honor their decision. I only hope they will not come to regret it. As do I. Should I be found unworthy of their trust, I shall submit to their judgment in whatever that may entail. Such striking eyes. Forgive me, but might we return to the task at hand? First, I would like to discuss the transportation of supplies from Alamigo. This way, if you please. All right. Once again, I prepare to lead an army to Werlit. The irony is not lost on me. It is a cruel twist of fate that these people, so desperate from years of oppression, should turn to their conqueror for salvation. For most of my life, I believed that only the Empire possessed the strength and wisdom to lead mankind. That only through great sacrifice could civilization hope to thrive. And so I led to the conquest of Eorzea, forcing the doctrine of Garlemald to the ignorant and uncivilized. In every territory, I sought out those with the potential for greatness, without regard for one's birth or circumstance, that they may serve the Empire. But there are those such as Valens, who see being born Garlean a virtue in and of itself, above all others. To think such a monster such as him should be granted the position of legatus, everything that entails, it makes my blood boil. Valens brings shame upon our homeland, and makes mock of the ideals it once stood for. By my hand he shall pay for his foul crimes. We're running out of time, Gaius. We have to go after her.
There's something I would show you, but not here. Come with me.
And it's time to stop. All right, we'll pick that back up tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.